What's up, guys and gals? This is Roy from Roy's Customs. How you doing today? Been working on this Torrent. It had bad rear brakes, and they need replaced, but there's a little more to it. If you're getting grinding sounds, in like an all-wheel drive, or whether it's just a front-wheel drive or whatever, if you're getting noises in the rear end, you should have it inspected, because it may need brakes or it might need a new hub and bearing. This is actually sold as one piece. We used to call it a spindle, but it's just a hub and bearing. You can hear all that noise, and it's really bad, and as it's going down the road it grinds really bad too. So you should have all of it inspected, everything, since it's going to be apart. You're going to have the drums off. If you're doing the job yourself, that's fine. Just make sure you inspect everything. Check your hub for any kind of play, any movement. If you're getting movement but it still sounds smooth, I would keep an eye on it very closely, because if it moves and there's still no sound, that could very well mean it's still bad anyways, and it probably doesn't have much longer. But as far as this one goes, you can hear that, and that's with no load on it, so you can only imagine the sound that was being made from it. The other one is bad too. It's just about as bad. It actually makes more noise than anything than the other one, but you know, you got to inspect all that. You can't just pop some grease in it and hope it's okay, because number one, they're actually sealed, so that, you know, you can't just jam them full of grease and think you're good. It doesn't work that way. Even if it did have a grease fitting on it, you still couldn't jam it with grease and it'd be okay. It just doesn't work like that. You know, the longer you ride on this, the worse it's going to be. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and eventually it will break on you. I've seen that. I've seen it happen. I've actually had it happen on me a couple of different times with different vehicles. So anyways, if you're doing the rear brakes anyways, it's not that big of a deal to go ahead and inspect everything while you're there. Inspect the springs on the rear, inspect the shocks, you know, if you got shocks on there, or struts, if you got struts on there. You know, go ahead and inspect everything, and inspect your CV shaft, or your cross, your A-arms. You know, just go ahead and check all your bushings and stuff. It's not a big deal, and that way, since you have it already taken apart anyways, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to go ahead and get to anything that you need to replace, so that, you know, it'll be just that much more stuff that's done. You know, anyways, it may not always just be your brakes making noise. There's probably 80 parts underneath the back end of this thing, and any one of them could have been making the noise. I had told the guy that it sounded like a bad wheel bearing to me anyways, but lo and behold, on the passenger side, whenever I took the brake drum off, one of the retainer pins was actually missing, so it wasn't holding, because it has a retainer spring for your rear brake shoes. It actually holds them in there, so one of those was missing, so that was making noise on the other side as well. So you had all that stuff grinding and groaning back here, making all kinds of noise, and And I'd say a lot of it's because whoever the previous owner was, because he bought this from somebody else, just didn't maintain the vehicle like they should have. You know, actually this is the same Torrent that I did the head gaskets and everything on like last summer. So this is the second time this vehicle's been in the garage for pretty major work. He had been riding around on it with it making that noise for all this time. I had tried to tell him he needs to get that taken care of. It's just going to be carnage whenever you pop that stuff open. And you can really mess other stuff up in the process, like, because with a wheel bearing going bad, you know, you could have totally destroyed the spindle. You could have, you know, you could have messed up a bunch of other stuff, and if it would have broke, that would have been even worse. So just because you think it's the brakes grinding and you think you're okay, it's not that big of a deal to either have a mechanic pop them off, check out the noise, and inspect everything, or for if you do your own maintenance and your own work, then that's fine. Then you need to pop that stuff off, and it's not, oh, I don't got time for it. Yes, you always have time for safety, especially if it's your family vehicle and you're going to have all your kids and your wifey and maybe your mother-in-law and you're going on a picnic or something. You want to make sure that your family is safe, and you want to make sure everything's okay. So you can do the inspection, or you can send it to an auto shop and have them do the inspection. Now when they do the inspection, you want to kind of make sure that you're there, and that way you can check out anything that they look at, so that you can kind of make the final decision, instead of them saying, oh, well, we replaced $1,000 worth of stuff for you, so you're good, here's your keys, give us our check. You know, that's no good either. But anyways, just be safe out there, and whether you have it done by a certified mechanic, your best friend that's been working on cars for as long as he can remember, or whoever it is, just have it done. If you're hearing grinding and groaning, you may get lucky. You may just have to change the brake shoes and head on down the road. But then again, it may be worse than what you think. So anyways, thank you guys and gals for watching. Feel free to subscribe, hit the notifications, and have a spectacular day or night, whichever one it is for you. Peace out.